This is the audiobook of Breathe, Volume 5, by Brittany Simone Silver. Breathe. Lessons, affirmations, and reflections to get through this thing called life. Volume 5, Brittany Simone Silver. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted by any means without the written permission of the author. Acknowledgements. I would like to acknowledge God for the gift and passion to write. All blessings are truly due to you. I am thankful to every person and experience that has influenced my writing. I am forever grateful for everyone who has supported and believed in me, and continue to do so. Last but not least, I give thanks to all those who play a role in the creation, evolution, and the reflection of this thing called life. Dedication. This book is dedicated to anyone who is ready for new beginnings. Message from the author. I would be the first to tell others that I am far from perfect. My life has been filled with failures and victories, highs and lows, as well as ups and downs. Through my journey, I have gained much experience, knowledge, and wisdom concerning this thing called life. Much of what I have learned has challenged me to change, grow, and expand. Breathe is filled with lessons, affirmations, and reflections that I have gathered thus far. My hope is that the reader may apply my words to their life and be strengthened and edified. Always remember to walk in purpose, walk in love, and just breathe. It isn't always wise trying to be social when you have physical, mental, and emotional barriers to tackle. Time with self is essential for perspective and for healing. We have all been hurt. As individuals, we must make the choice to heal from our pain and break the cycle of past hurts. I would rather someone who is vulnerable enough to admit that they need to do the work of healing than someone who acts like they have it all together but is broken inside. Let's stop putting band-aids over these wounds. Let's heal for real. Hard truth is necessary for change. Sometimes, loved ones have to lose access to us. Be willing to give absence of self to those who disrupt your peace, your sanity, and peace of mind is more important than trying to be there for someone who constantly disrupts your joy. Decide who needs to be released and who can stay. Make a list of the things that bring you happiness. Make a list of what you want, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Apply what is required to attain those things. It's time to start doing those things that you've always wanted to do. Stop putting it off. Life is about living, so live. You have to be mentally, emotionally, and physically aware. Get you together, and the rest will follow. The expectation is derived from the mind, action is derived from the body, and hope is derived from the spirit. Be selective and reverential in all that you do. Take no part of your life lightly. I think that when some of us grow older, we look at our troubled youth and forget about our own past transgressions and iniquities. But we mustn't. For it is those very things that shall enable us to take heart and offer guidance and direction to young souls. This is spiritual warfare. Guard yours at all costs. Some people will just never be satisfied with anything. I absorb insights from both sides, women being informed about men and men being informed about women. I think the disconnect is that the information often conflicts and many times leaves the sexes divided and at odds. Then you have men advising men on how to be a player while women are being advised on how not to be played. Maybe the key is to teach both sides how to be open, honest, and transparent instead of guessing and playing mind games. I would think that those healthy methods are what can cultivate lasting relationships. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. If you are a woman who has a man who wants to be the provider and sticks it out with you faithfully, that is a catch. Too often, we let the false realities of society trick us into thinking that better is just around the corner when we already have quality at home. Too often, we are so busy looking outside of our situations that we don't appreciate the blessing of what we have right in front of us. Women, if you have a good man who earns an honest living, loves you, and is faithful, stop trying to make him something that he isn't. It shouldn't matter if he is a custodian or a neurosurgeon. Quality character will trump title every time. Also, too many people fail to make sure that their values, desires, and priorities align prior to getting married. In this world today, it would be wise not to make that mistake. Life has taught me the need for balance, the need to set your spiritual equilibrium. Growing up, it confused me to see how people would go to church on Sunday and act the fool Monday through Saturday. It got to a point where I refused to go to church because I didn't want to be a hypocrite. I later discovered where my conflict resided. I later discovered how toxic religion can be. Being spiritual yet non religious doesn't mean that you don't believe in God, but it means that you do not limit your love for others just because you are not under the same denomination. It means that you are more open to understand what true spirituality means and what it means to explore to the point of connecting to your highest self. You want to be competitive in the world, be educated, learn a trade, and be creatively inclined. Ask them questions, deep dive, then go deeper. Know that they are not a mind reader. Express yourself in a healthy and respectful way. Make your feelings and concerns known. Be willing to be vulnerable and transparent and require the same in return. There came a point when I had to ask myself, am I going to keep these people in my life and remain stagnant, or am I going to release them to allow something crucial to develop within myself? Tears are proof that you are human. Tears are proof of emotion. Don't be afraid to let it out. You can be strategic and have integrity. Spending too much time with people who don't have the same values as you, with people who don't have the same goals as you, can become toxic. Protect yourself and surround yourself with like mindedness. Iron sharpens iron. I had to learn how not to be too vocal about my moves and my accomplishments because in my mind it was my way of letting people in, sharing my life, and I thought maybe I could be an inspiration to others. I had to learn that many people didn't see it that way. I had to learn that sometimes sharing too much of your life doesn't drive loved ones closer to you, it pushes them away. You have to be willing You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to grow and expand. And some people are not. Living outside of God's law forces you to burn in your sin. Remain on the humble and obedient path. Your soul will thank you for it. I'd rather do something out of good intention and be wrong than not do something and be wrong. Have you ever considered that you could be right and wrong at the same time? I don't like to assume. The truth reveals itself in due time. I am learning how to be constructive and productive with my anger, hurt, and aggression. Rather than say or do something harmful or damaging to myself or others, I am learning to use that energy to create. I am using that energy to creatively express myself. I am using that energy to better myself. I am using that energy to prosper myself. I am using that energy to educate through my work. I grew up without my father in the home, and while I refuse to use that as a crutch or cop out, I will not pretend that it doesn't matter. I will not pretend that fathers aren't needed in the home. I will not pretend that not having a strong male figure in your home doesn't add struggle to your circumstance. But I made a choice to live in spite of my plight. I made a choice to battle and overcome the odds. Who we are is comprised of our inherited genetics, our environmental experiences, and who we choose to be. What do you choose? Get that hopelessness out of your heart. As long as a new day awaits, there is always hope. I am learning how to combat ignorance with education. I am learning how to combat hatred with love. Men want women to be monogamous, yet many of them are not willing to reciprocate. Men, please stop requiring of women what you are not willing to give. Not only is it selfish, unfair, and toxic, it is incredibly unrealistic. When a man is unfaithful, his home suffers. Men, please know that reserving your sexuality for your wife will bring you more blessing than you may ever know. Not only is it pleasing to God, but it will increase your closeness, bond, and connection with your mate. It will also eliminate the risk of sexually transmitted diseases in outside children. I grew up learning what racism is, and as a result, it opened my eyes to the fact that some people will hate me solely because of the color of my skin. In today's society, I believe that more emphasis should be placed on prejudice and discrimination. Many people are so heavy laden by the idea of hatred based on skin color that they sometimes forget how far the spectrum of hatred spans. The fact is that not all non-black people are racist. By the same token, not all black people love and accept other black people. Furthermore, I'm also a woman, and there are some people within and outside of my race who will hate me simply for that fact. Prejudice and discrimination should be more focused on because it acknowledges hatred on every level. Racism is a form of prejudice, and prejudice and discrimination cover mistreatment due to race, gender, age, social class, etc. It is when we expand our minds to this truth that we can see the true fallacy of hatred and injustice on all levels. It is when we acknowledge this reality that we can better emphasize and relate as a whole. I am learning more and more the value of what resides within. I am learning to never take for granted the precious beauty of the soul. Don't be deceived. The outer layer is just a shell. Our flesh is just an illusion. The spirit of a person is what holds the true glory. I'll take corny and cheesy over being a menace any day. When you take the time to truly seek to understand others, when you take the time, just imagine walking a day in their shoes. It makes it much more easier to connect and relate. In regard to family quarrels, take time to heal if you need to. Separate for a short period if you must, but don't let go forever. Don't harbor grudges and animosity. Always be willing to forgive, even if the offense leaves you no choice but to love them from a distance. Learn how to separate the person from the title. Learn how to separate the person from the act. We are so much more complex than singular components of our lives. Don't keep poking the bear and then be surprised when it attacks. Even God gives free will, so never force it. If it is meant to be, it will happen naturally. You have to want a thing. It's better that way. I'm going to bless the hand that feeds me. The journey of growth and healing is a continual thing. It is a beautiful thing to always be open to growth and newness. There are some days when I get so overwhelmed with gratitude and joy that I just have to give magnificent praise to God. I had to learn how to step into my G mode. My mind is awakening to God consciousness. You have to learn how to speak less, listen more, observe all things, learn more, and apply the knowledge. I think that in life, we can get so used to being lied to that we take it as an attack when someone comes along and delivers the truth. If you feel deficiency in any area outside of your control, it would be best to excel in as many other areas as possible in an effort to set balance in your life. Nothing compares to sweet simplicity. Where I come from, teen pregnancy was common. Where I come from, it was a challenge to keep your virginity until 18. Where I come from, it was a great challenge and achievement just to graduate from high school. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have our own dysfunctionality and brokenness to grow from. Be patient with one another. We come from different paths, but many of us are trying to get to the same place. I was talking to a friend of mine, venting about how many failures I've endured in life and how it was in contrast to what I wanted to be and how I wanted to be viewed in the world. What he said to me is that my life is supposed to be a testament to teach people what not to do. I didn't want to accept that. I mean, who wants to be the poster child for what not to do? Now I am at peace with that revelation. A concept that used to make me feel small now gives me strength. After all, it takes strength to go through hell and live to tell your story. It takes strength to endure failure after failure and continue to try. It takes strength to keep falling down and get back up. I am honored to have such a victorious story to share. My hope is that I was chosen to endure the flame so that others never have to. My hope is that others can learn from my lessons. My hope is that others can learn from my mistakes. Since the core of Black excellence is the Black family, it is essential that Black men and women come together. Sometimes it's the smallest moments that cause the largest impact. Isn't it funny how much we impact one another? Isn't it funny how much we influence one another? We have the power to cause negative or positive impact in one another's life. Which one do you choose? You may need something and not be aware of it. When you get out of your own way, miracles happen. There is a blessing in stillness. I don't mind decreasing so that others can increase. What a wonderful thing to see people around you achieve. What a beautiful thing to want others to win. We are at a constant battle with our two extremes. I'm starting to believe that it isn't about being at your best or worst. It is about understanding that both make up our totality. Once we realize that, we figure out how to allow both to exist in harmony. Some people will try to tear you down for being your authentic self, but it should come as no surprise that those are the people who wear masks. I believe that the reason why relationships and interactions fail is because we don't take the time to really listen. We don't take the time to really understand the other person. I think we sometimes forget how limited our view is into someone's life. We don't know their daily trials. We don't know their internal struggles. We don't know what hurdles that they secretly face daily. We don't always see ourselves as others do, good or bad. Sometimes we look in the mirror and see perfection, not realizing that how we appear to others is completely contrary. Sometimes we see so much ugliness in ourselves, unable to see the beauty that others may secretly covet. Get out of your feelings. Be objective. See things from the perspective of others. Sometimes it's best not to be so eager to sit at someone else's table. Sometimes it's best to just make your own. I agree. College isn't for everyone. But what I like about college is networking, world experience, programs, internships, and scholarships. I used to want someone to save me. Then I realized that I have to save myself. It's good to repent for your wrongs, but understand that others will still judge you for them. Understand that when you hurt others, they determine when they forgive you. not you. Give people the space to heal from the pain that you caused. Some of the things that I've learned from my past relationships with men are to not have sex too soon, listen more, ask more questions, be patient, be consistent, let my actions match my words and require the same, exercise emotional intelligence, and address issues in the moment. I need all of the languages of love. Mental and emotional health are important. Don't place emphasis on external factors. Upon reflection, I recognize instances in my life where I have self sabotaged. Be wise enough to avoid that mistake in your life. It has been said that success does not come without a series of failures. I have found that to be true. The beauty that I have found in my failures is reaching a point of learning and growth. I've been called pretty, cute, beautiful, and gorgeous, but there have been times that I didn't see those things in myself. I am learning to sit with myself, to love myself, to cultivate and nurture my inner beauty so that I can see it shine on my exterior. It is such an amazing thing to love yourself. Thank God for the moments of peace. Thank God for the moments of clarity. Sometimes we weave in and out of the lane of compassion. Sometimes it comes down to your sanity and happiness versus someone else's comfort. When you hurt, someone else is hurting. When you win, someone else is winning. Check your source and verify. It is when you cross the line of compromising your principles that you enter dangerous territory. Some people are magnificent enough to remind you of your superpower, and that's no small thing. Your mission was never to adopt the traits of your oppressors. It was to live according to truth in spite of the lies. The key is to redirect your thinking. Your highest challenge is self. The task is to combat the desire to do less when you know you are capable of so much more. The aim is to become better and better. This is a marathon, not a sprint.